I'm Dave Webb. This is Jeff Jedras. We've just returned from Ottawa on the GTEC Public Sector Technology Conference. And this year, again, it was shared services, and shared services. But it seems to me that there's a little more urgency this time than the last few times that they've been talking shared services at GTEC.
Well, we certainly hope so. We've been down this road a number of times, but it's possible that this time they actually do mean it. I think there's been a few limiting factors in the past. One has been the constant minority governments have limited the ability and the willingness of both the civil service and the government to do long-term planning. But with a majority now for the next 4 years, it's possible that they're over that hump. The other one is there's been a lot of resistance to the private sector, because this will mean some big changes for them. But I think the feds have gotten to the point where they have to act. Things have to change, and whether or not the private sector is on board, it's happening.
Fundamental changes to the way the private sector does stuff. First up, though, fundamental changes to the way departmental CIOs are going to have to work. They're going to have to be looking at much more comprehensive business plans. They're going to have to consider a lot more options, including partnerships with the private sector, departmental clusters, and they're also going to have to work this through shared services. So I'm just wondering how any procurement's actually going to get done.
Well, that's almost a separate issue as well. But I think for the departmental CIOs, it's going to be a bit less autonomy and power than they had in the past. Each department ran as this little fiefdom. I think the term we use in the private sector would be a silo, and the feds are looking to end those silos. So it's going to have to be a lot more a case of having to pitch their needs to the federal CIO and operate within that larger framework, rather than being able to do their own thing. In terms of procurement, I think that's one area where we still need a lot of more direction from the government in terms of where they want to go. They've also attempted to do some reforms in the past that have failed when the private sector again raised a big stink. But again, I think the change is coming this time.
Mm-hmm. So it looks to me that government is taking this seriously. The civil service is taking this seriously. Are the vendors and partners taking it seriously?
Oh, I think it's a mix. The vendors certainly are. In terms of the partners, I think there's a mix in the channel. The partners that serve the public sector are a bit behind in the evolution, I think, that we've seen in those that serve the private sector in terms of making that transition from the box pushers to the value add, looking at the wider picture. And I think those partners that are making that change will be well served and will be in a position to grow their business as the feds undertake these reforms. Those that are still looking to just push the box sales to go chasing after the RFPs, if they don't adjust, they're going to be left in the dust, I think.
Jeff, thanks.
Thanks, Dave.